Today we're going to tell you the storyline of the movie called Carter from the year 2022. Telling us the story of Carter, an undercover agent who is forced to undertake a special mission that threatens his own safety after experiencing amnesia. So, without further ado, let's get straight to the video. But before we start, please support our channel by subscribing and click the bell icon for future notifications. Now, let's start. The movie begins with news about the emergence of a mutant virus that exhibits rapid symptoms and spreads quickly. It is known that this virus originated from the return of the US military from North Korea, where over 8 million people have already been infected with the virus. On the other side, a group of soldiers is seen preparing to raid a location. At the same time, 2 additional military vehicles arrived at the ambush site. The television reports the disappearance of a doctor named Jung and his daughter Hannah. Their disappearance is not without reason, as the world has learned that Dr. Jung successfully cured his daughter of the virus. Furthermore, Dr. Jung planned to mass-produce the antidote. During the ambush, the soldiers encounter a tattooed man in a room and inquire about the missing Dr. Jung. However, the tattooed man claims to have no recollection of anything, not even his own name. Shortly after the tattooed man answered the ringing phone, a woman on the other end immediately declared that the man's name was Carter. She then requested to speak to someone behind him, and suddenly, even though his smartphone had exploded, the woman continued to speak. It turned out that Carter had an implanted device in his ear, and only he could hear the voice. He was instructed to jump to the adjacent building because the current location was set to explode in 10 seconds. Unfortunately, Carter landed in an area filled with Yakuza gangsters, and he was forced to fight against dozens of them. Single-handedly, Carter mercilessly slaughtered everyone in his path. But the challenges didn't end there. As Carter exited the room, he was confronted by more Yakuza members. Managing to escape, Carter was then instructed to run to the market and find a vehicle for his getaway. The battle continued in one of the clothing stores. Afterward, Carter followed the instructions given by the woman in his ear to flee. However, it wasn't long before Carter was informed that a CIA agent was approaching, and another fight ensued. Once the agent was killed, Carter was instructed to retrieve a device from the agent's hand. Then, a waiting car at the end of the street picked him up. Carter was ordered to get into the car, as failure to do so would result in the bomb planted inside his mouth detonating. Inside the car, Carter meets a woman named Choi Yoo-jin, while the woman speaking in his ear is named Han Jung-hee from the North Korean Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Shortly after, the monitor displays examples of North Koreans infected with the DMZ virus, some of whom are capable of using weapons. Since Dr. Jung has been located, Carter is given a mission to find his daughter, Hannah, whose blood contains elements that can be used for a vaccine. Surprisingly, it is revealed that Carter himself requested those people to block his own memories. He is then provided with some information about his deceased wife, who died from the virus, and his infected daughter, who is currently in a North Korean laboratory. With a strong determination to save his daughter, Carter prepares his weaponry and gears up to immediately carry out the mission. Armed with information about Hannah's location, he eliminates the guards there in order to search for her. Carter seizes the opportunity, but unfortunately, as he cautiously moves with limited footing, one of the agents stops him, leading them into a fierce battle. After landing safely, they steal a nearby car and quickly make their escape. At a certain location, they encounter a group of protesters demanding the return of Dr. Jung to North Korea. At the same time, Carter receives a message from an unknown person claiming that he is indeed Michael Bain, supported by a video attachment he receives. Intrigued, Carter decides to go to the bus stop location provided by the individual. When boarding the bus, Choi Yoo-jin questions Carter about his intentions. However, Carter pays no attention to her and continues his journey. Inside the bus, a female agent approaches him, convinced that Carter is Michael Bain. However, shortly after, she gets shot, and the CIA forces quickly surround her. In his escape, unfortunately, Hannah is taken by someone on a motorcycle, prompting Carter to pursue them. An epic chase ensues as Carter uses all his abilities to protect Hannah. He successfully disables several vehicles until finally rescuing Hannah and neutralizing their enemies. Then, Carter is directed to head towards the airport to board a flight to North Korea. The plane is heavily guarded, and the director of North Korean relations at NIS, named Kim Dong-gyu, is assigned to accompany Carter and Hannah to North Korea. As they walk towards the plane, the media crew is already swarming around them, eager to see Hannah, who has been found. Inside the plane, there are Director Kim and his subordinates representing South Korea, as well as North Korean military personnel and U.S. media crew. Carter and Hannah are then escorted to the medical room for health checks. While changing clothes, Carter questions whether he is truly carrying out this mission for his daughter's safety, but Kim assures him that he will know when the mission is complete. Carter is also warned not to let his guard down, as a North Korean coup group is also targeting Hannah. Shortly after, suddenly, there is turbulence, and Kim immediately rushes to the cockpit. The North Korean officials state that the pilot suddenly passed out after drinking coffee. At that moment, Kim starts to feel that something is not right. He suspects that both pilots have been infected with the DMZ virus and will soon mutate. This leads to a standoff with weapons drawn. Medical personnel are called to confirm the presence of the virus, but unfortunately, it takes time. In the midst of the debate, Kim remembers Hannah. On the other hand, Carter is informed by Jung-hee to immediately head to the cargo area as Hannah is there with a medical officer. Fortunately, Kim arrives just in time and shoots the medical officer. The officer claims that he just wants to experience freedom and equality like an American citizen, implying that he is on the side of the U.S. As Kim prepares to shoot, the medical officer evades and launches a counterattack, resulting in Director Kim's death. From Hannah's perspective, it even appears that Carter is blown up by the traitor. After successfully retrieving Hannah, Carter cannot breathe a sigh of relief just yet, as enemy forces are already waiting for him and launch an immediate attack. Carter continues to withstand the onslaught of the attackers. Since the driver of their car is shot, Hannah has to help control the vehicle. Eventually, Carter manages to fight off all of his enemies. Shortly after, Jung-hee instructs him to cross over the cliff using a rope bridge, as his mission will be completed there. As they make their way past a waterfall, suddenly, it turns out that this area is already filled with infected individuals, and eventually, Carter and Hannah come across the rope bridge, a sign that their mission is nearing its end. However, before long, a group of infected individuals arrives and attacks them. Trapped in the middle of the bridge, Carter continues to fight back until the North Korean military forces arrive and open fire on the infected individuals. They finally reunite with Han Jung-hee, the person whose voice Carter has been hearing all along. Then, a general named Kim Jong-hyuk appears, and when the memory-blocking device is about to be removed, it is revealed that Kim Jong-hyuk has betrayed them with his promises. Despite the mission being completed, he plans to exploit Carter, and it is uncovered that he is the leader of the North Korean coup forces. A shocked Carter is immediately threatened by two soldiers there, and he is dragged towards a group of infected individuals to be burned along with them. However, suddenly, after killing all of the soldiers, Carter rushes to find Kim Jong-hyuk. Using a sniper rifle, Carter can observe the activities inside the laboratory that Kim Jong-hyuk has taken over. He witnesses Kim Jong-hyuk holding Jung-hee at gunpoint, and that's when Carter springs into action. Inside the laboratory, Carter's small family is finally reunited, even though his child has already been infected. Hannah is seen trapped in a separate room. Shortly after, Dr. Jung administers the vaccine to Carter's child. On the other side, the lab starts to descend into chaos as the infected individuals rebel. The North Korean forces also continue to pursue Carter. After successfully rescuing Hannah, they make their escape while being chased and shot at by the infected individuals. Jung-hee states that they need to quickly board the train to China so that the North Korean government cannot disturb them. Finally, the chip implanted in the back of Carter's head is removed, allowing Carter to remember what led to all of this. It turns out that at that time, Carter, Jung-hee, and their child Yoon-hee were planning to escape from North Korea. However, General Kim intercepted them. As a result, Carter decided to bring Hannah back to ensure the release of his family. To make General Kim believe him, Carter requested the removal of his memories using a chip called BD7. As a guarantee, Yoon-hee was injected with the virus, leaving Carter with no choice but to bring Hannah to Kim. Returning from his memory, shortly after, a group of soldiers arrives and starts chasing them. Carter, along with Yoon-hee and Hannah, hurried to catch up to the train to China, while Jung-hee and Dr. Jung stayed behind to deal with General Kim's henchmen. They managed to board the train, but they were not yet safe as there were already troops on the train. 2 military trucks had arrived to deal with Carter, but they were unaware of who they were facing. Not only was the army after them, but the Air Force was also pursuing Carter. Seeing Hannah captured, Carter used a heavy tool to reach her. General Kim was seen in one of the helicopters. As one of the helicopters was successfully destroyed, General Kim fired his machine gun at Carter's helicopter, leaving only one helicopter remaining, the one General Kim was on. Jung-hee and Dr. Jung, who had just arrived in a car, were also seen. They struggled with a soldier who was holding onto Hannah until she was finally rescued. Carter managed to enter the helicopter that General Kim was on and skillfully eliminated them, causing the enemy helicopter to crash and explode. Finally, Carter's small family was truly reunited, as well as Hannah and Dr. Jung. However, and the movie finally ended. What do you think of the movie? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to hit like and support the channel by subscribing and click the bell icon so that you won't miss our future recaps. And if you have any movie you want us to recap, please do tell us in the comments section as well. And until next time.